So minor pentatonic scales really are one of our most important tools when learning how to improvise in contemporary styles like jazz, funk, rock, fusion, whatever. And the reason why they're so important is because they're so strong, they're so malleable. It's almost impossible to hit a wrong note when you're playing a minor pentatonic scale. All of the notes just kind of work. And for that reason, a lot of people actually don't get as far into minor pentatonic scales as they could because everything just works and they just let their fingers fly and whatever, it works. I found actually that there's a lot more you can do. And in this first video, we're going to check out what I call linear sequences. Now, linear sequences are a form of sequence, and a sequence is moving a motive up and down on different pitch levels. They're a form of sequence where you take consecutive pitches of a scale and then sequence them up and down. So what I mean by that is if we take a G minor pentatonic scale and play the first 4 notes, if we have a 4-note linear sequence, G, B flat, C, D. We take those first 4 notes and then we sequence them up starting on a new pitch level, which is this B flat. So B flat, C, D, F. So we want 4 notes up from that B flat. Now we're going to take the next note in the scale, C, and go 4 notes up from that, etc., all the way up. Cool. Once we get to the top, we can go back down. Sweet. Alright, so cool. We learn that full pattern all the way up and down on the bass, get really good at it, we practice it, you know, really fast. That's the first step, and it's going to take a while to really get the physical aspects under your fingers, but the thing to keep in mind is that's not really music yet, because you haven't really applied it to context. That's just a pattern that you're playing, it's not really music. So how do we make music out of it? Well, first of all, once you've started playing this and really practicing it, you'll find that sort of pattern automatically comes out when you're improvising because it's under your fingers. But if you want to approach it a little more methodically, the way that I would think about doing it is practicing in as many different rhythms and subdivisions and displacements as you possibly can, just to get that feeling, get that into your psyche, I guess. And the way that you can do it right here is I have a little backing track up. It's G minor 7, C7, the Santana chord progression, ideal for the G minor pentatonic scale. And the way that we're going to practice this is first in 1/8 notes. So you notice you can like accent certain notes of that pattern, and it makes it a little bit more musical. So adding a little articulation, a little more flavor is going to go a long way. So what if we take that pattern and now start it on the offbeat and see where that leads us? Cool. Alright, now what if we did it starting in 16th notes, a little faster? Cool. That's a favorite of mine. It's really simple, but it sounds cool. Now what if we take that pattern 16th notes and start it on the 8th note offbeat? Cool. Now what if we did it on the 16th note offbeat? Now what if we did it on the next 16th note offbeat, the Sweet. Awesome. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm just trying to think of all the different possible ways we can take that pattern and turn it into something besides just 4 notes. Now, so far we've just been going with the subdivision, with the pulse, that daga 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 daga. Now what if we added a rest in there? It might add a little bit more interest, and it might make it a little bit less so squared into that one rhythm. So let's take that pattern and then add an 8th note rest in there. So check this out. Or something like this. Cool. And now what if we added now a 16th note rest, making it a 5/16th note pattern? Cool. That sort of thing will start messing with your perception of where the beat is, because it's a 5-note pattern, and you're normally so locked into that 4-note pattern, or that 4-note subdivision. So be careful with messing with that. Now, what are some other things that we could do? Well, we've all been working with 16th notes. Now, let's try and think of ways to work with triplets. Now, this is going to be a little more advanced, because we're not working with a triplet subdivision, we're working with a 16th note subdivision, so it's going to sound like it's floating across. That was that triplet subdivision, but with an added triplet rest. So it was a 5-note pattern phrased in triplets over a 4-note pulse of the 16th note. So you notice it was like floating all over the place. But that's cool, because this is gonna messing with this sort of thing is going to give you a lot more rhythmic ideas and a lot better ways of coming up with phrasing, rather than just going and just like letting the fingers dictate what you're going to play. So cool. So basically, with all of this, you're trying to figure out as many different ways to mess with 4 simple notes as possible. And in actual practice, you're not actually just going to be cycling through all these ways, but the way it works is, like I said before, it will get in your psyche. You'll be thinking about it, and you'll have played it and felt it before, so when you're in the moment, you'll start to feel it then also. Anyway, so that's all the stuff you can do with a 4-note linear sequence. What about a 5-note linear sequence? So instead of just going 4 notes up like that, we're going to go 5 notes up. So G, B flat, C, D, F, and then B flat, C, D, F, G. That sort of thing. Now this is phrasing these 5-note sequences in 16th notes was actually one of Jocko's favorite things to do. So as a bass player, of course, I really locked in on that. So that's how this sounds. Yeah. Or let's see. So, basically, that's just one other way to do it, and you can cycle through and start on the offbeats, like we did before with the 4-note pattern, and then start messing with the triplets, and then let's see if I can do this. Maybe I'm gonna do this in quintuplet, so it's all gonna line up. So, hopefully. Yeah, did I do that right? I think I did. Anyway. You're trying to think of all the rhythmic things you can do. The point is you can see in this like 9-minute video, we've covered a heck of a lot of new stuff that you can do with a minor pentatonic that you probably didn't know of before, and this is just scratching the surface of the digital patterns. And hopefully in my next video we'll start investigating some little more interesting patterns, rather than just going up 4 notes or going up 5 notes or whatever. But anyway, stay tuned. Hopefully more minor pentatonic madness will ensue.